Hello and welcome colleagues and friends from around the world to the International Internet Preservation Consortium's 2002 Web Archiving Conference. I'm thrilled to be opening the conference this year on behalf of the Library of Congress and Iipc. The Library of Congress has been a member of the Iipc community since the consortium was initially established by 11 national libraries and the Internet Archive. We have since grown to include 53 member organizations from more than 35 countries. For the past 19 years, Library of Congress staff have contributed their time to the consortium in a variety of ways, including serving on the steering committee, handling early communications duties, and active participation in leadership on a variety of working groups. As we have developed our own web archiving program, we have found tremendous value in learning from, collaborating with, and growing together with this vibrant community, and for that we are immensely grateful. And I want to thank you personally for your willingness to share your wisdom and expertise, and for doing the hard work required to create meaningful exchanges for the people working in our collective organizations on the challenges of web archiving. As IIPC approaches its 20th anniversary next year, and the Library of Congress celebrates its 22nd year of web archiving, our organizations come together again this week to co-host the conference and share in the theme of #WhyWebArchiving. Hopefully, you were able to join us last night. We hosted a lively conversation between some Library of Congress staff who determined the types of content to archive and the researchers who have used web archives for different kinds of scholarly exploration. The conversation surfaced an important trademark of our work, collaboration with the research community. If you missed it, it's available streaming until 7 p.m. Eastern Time this evening, and it will be posted to the IIPC and the Library of Congress websites in the near future. And Abby's helpfully dropping some links in the chat to the things that I mentioned. Thank you, Abby. And this was just the start of an exciting few days of presentations and discussions that will help us all learn and will hopefully set the groundwork for even more collaboration. Like you, the Library of Congress is working hard to make our digital collections, including our web archives, ever more accessible to users and useful to a variety of research purposes. And I know we're not alone in hearing from researchers who are interested in using large web archive collections in ways that cannot be met with our established interfaces to web archives, which is why organizations like IIPC are so crucial. Collective problem solving is the only path forward with challenges at this level of complexity and scale. I'd like to share with you some of the things we've been up to at the Library of Congress to expand our digital collecting efforts and to experiment around access to web archives at scale and the ways that that has informed our planning. In 2017, we created a plan for expanding our routine acquisition of digital collections, which, among other things, expanded the use of the web archiving process to capture digital publications. Then in 2018, we published the library's first digital strategy, which provided a more robust organizational framework for this work. It describes the library's objectives for digital transformation over a 5-year period, including the goals of growing our online collections, creating opportunities for deeper engagement with them, and investing in an innovation culture that supports a changing information landscape. The digital strategy asks all of us to consider how we're serving digital collections and whether those means of access meet all research needs. In March 2020, the results of discussions on this topic were shared in a report called Digital Scholarship at the Library of Congress, which outlines recommendations for enabling more options for expanded services to researchers. This report made it clear that supporting digital scholarship is a natural and inevitable extension of the work that the library has done to acquire, describe, preserve, secure, and provide access to a universal collection of knowledge. Recommendations in that report pointed out that greater investment in collection readiness, community around serving these types of research needs, and more robust services is required, not only to meet the current demand, but to position the library to be an ever more vital resource in the 21st century. One example of something we've tried following that report was to publish some experimental web archive data sets to gauge research, to gauge feasibility and user interest. Then recently in 2021, we released a digital collection strategy. And this includes the full life cycle of born digital materials, from acquisition to preservation to user access. This was developed collaboratively with a wide range of departments and stakeholders within the institution, and in my view is a pretty forward-looking and ambitious set of goals. We're in the early stages of implementations of this, but I'm encouraged that progress has already been made on a number of fronts, including in the library figuring out its level of service for digital scholarship in the future. Another initiative exploring the use of digital collections at scale was funded in 2019 with a generous grant from the Mellon Foundation. The project is called Computing Cultural Heritage in the Cloud. And in it, we aim to explore the ways we can serve research and creative uses of Library of Congress resources using the cloud, and document what was required to support this work, from levels of staff support to costs associated with serving and transforming digital materials using the affordances of cloud technology. And just recently, the library announced a new initiative of the people widening the path, which creates new opportunities to connect more deeply with Hispanic, Black, and Indigenous and other minority communities by expanding its collections, using technology to enable storytelling, and offering more internships and fellowship opportunities. One element of the work of this work that I have worked really closely with is the Connecting Communities Digital Initiative, which combines the power of technology with the library's digital collections to help communities engage with the library in ways that have never before been possible. You can learn about some of our work to support digital humanities tomorrow in Block 1, Session 10. Colleagues Chase Dooley from the LC Web Archiving team and Jamie Mears from LC Labs will discuss researching web archives, access, and tools. I'm also excited about a few other sessions related to this topic in the next 2 days, both later today, including Session 6, titled Design, Build, Use, Building a Computational Research Platform for Web Archives, which highlights exciting projects that support new and innovative ways of working with web archives, and Session 9, which continues this theme as panelists come together to discuss serving researchers with public web archive databases in the cloud. So we are asked today to ask, why web archiving? Because, as you know, the web continues to be a powerful mechanism for governments, organizations, and individuals to communicate and share information in an increasingly digital world. Preserving digital content for future generations is so critical. And as technology advances, we all envision a future in which users, and by which I mean researchers, artists, students, and more, are only limited by the questions they can think to ask, where scale, complexity, uniqueness, and speed are aligned to support their goals and result in a fundamentally transformed ways of understanding the world around us. In closing, I want to thank the members of the Conference Organizing Committee, the Program Committee, and of course the International Internet Preservation Consortium and its staff for all of the hard work that's made the 2022 Web Archiving Conference possible this year. And also thank you to the more than 500 individuals from over 38 countries who are joining this week to share and learn what this amazing community has to offer libraries and researchers around the globe. I hope that you have a wonderful conference, and thank you for sharing this time with me.